deep breath and remember who you are. Yeah, they're gonna mess with you, baby, you're a star. Stepping in the spotlight, you know that it feels right. Time to put up a fight, honey. Got nothing left to lose, so let's start right now. Everybody want a piece of you. Gotta give them what they want, it's true. You're symphonic, yeah, so iconic. If you didn't know before, now you know. Now you know. Take a big step away from who you were. Flashing that smile and the whole world's a blur.
Oh, hi. We're here. Positively Powerful with Scott Fitzgerald and Stacey Steinmiller from Rock Fox Recording and Production Studios in Bushnell's Basin. Yeah, I was just caught me messing around with my phone.
Slamming it down.
Slamming my phone down because the time has run out, as they say. Welcome to the show this morning. Heavy topic.
Oh, heavy.
It's called just not being happy.
So heavy.
Disillusionment. Do you feel dissed in so many different ways? Discouraged, disillusioned, distant, disenfranchised.
I don't know why that's the word that came to my mind.
Yeah, that could be one. That could be one. But all of those feelings of being dissed, something that I've been feeling lately, and
it's because I've been dissing you.
Yeah, you've been dissing me something fierce. No, you don't diss me. But I think a lot of it is just what's going on in the world, coupled with things, not working the way you want them to, or the way I'll put it in the first person, the way expectations, various, weird occurrences and things like that. The sun is out today, which is a huge...
And it kind of has been out, I feel like, a little bit poking through the past couple of days.
Yeah. Was it yesterday? I don't remember the sun yesterday. At least not for the majority of the day, but it doesn't matter. It's out now, and that's all that matters. Now is what... Stay in the now, in the moment.
Yes.
But having the sun out does really help. It does. Yeah. But when it's all gray and then you just... It's cold and you feel locked up and just lately that's been kind of how I've been feeling. I've just been feeling like, stuff's not working properly. Things aren't going the way I want them to go. And, having to figure out ways to step out of that.
Yeah.
Out of that feeling of just discouragement.
Right. And it almost feels like when you're feeling locked up, you're actually locked up in your mind, and then you experience everything you were just talking about. And I was just recognizing too, yesterday was like my first day out and about in probably like 10 days because I was sick all last week, which is why we didn't do this last week. I'm better now, even though I sound not 100%.
Near death.
Yeah. And so, and it was funny. So yesterday I was like, I'm going to get all dressed up. And I went to Rotary and, so I put my leggings on and a skirt on and a top on. And
good thing you put the top on. Rotary might not have let you come back. Or maybe they would have asked.
Maybe I could have gotten in for free.
Yeah, I don't know. Depends.
But yeah, it's always interesting. Yeah, because I wasn't feeling good. Then we had the snowstorm and everything, and you can get a little stir crazy when, for whatever reason, there's circumstances that maybe you're out of your usual routine and you're not getting outside and you're not going out and about, maybe not socializing in the ways that are beneficial. And I always think it's really important that when you're able to do those things, to do them. And and I know there was like an ad, and I don't remember what company it was for, but I really liked it. This was years and years, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, who knows? And it said something like, "There's no bad weather, only bad clothing." Like, obviously it was like for, some sort of clothing. But I was like, that's actually true. And I think it's a great like mindset to have, as long as you are dressed appropriately. It's important to get outside, even when it's, feels like -10 or feels like -20 outside. And I was saying the other day, I'm like, I'm really glad, I don't do it anymore, but I'm glad I spent years of my life running in this weather. Like I'd run no less than 3 miles, in this weather, and usually between 5 and 10 or more, because it really trained my mind and my body in knowing what's capable. And I'm not encouraging everyone to become like a crazy endurance athlete. Right. I'm bringing this up as far as the medicine that's available to you when you go outside and leave your house, even when it's not nice out.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, obviously, I don't have data to back up what I'm going to say right now, but I have heard this from many an expert, is that, your body can actually endure more than your mind gives it credit for. So like when you think you're at the limits, you actually can go much further if your mind, if you convince your mind, use your mind to get past that threshold.
Yep. And that's why they say like endurance training is more of a mental sport than anything. And there was that guy, Alex, somebody, he climbed, sorry, did you see it? I don't know.
He climbed the building?
The Taipei building. And, and so I was watching a little bit of his Instagram, and, and he talks, like he's talking about mindset, and most of the stuff that I've watched of like interviews and so forth with him, and training his mind. Like, yes, you obviously have to train your body, but and he talks about that, but it's, it's just training the mind, and he, using visualization and all that stuff. So it was interesting listening to him in the context of endurance, athlete plus like mindset plus thinking about manifestation, all of those things, and working with like nervous system regulation, trauma response, fear response, so I've been spending not a whole lot of time, but it's been kind of an interesting thing that has popped up in my feed lately.
I saw some of the behind the scenes stuff with the crew that shot that, that covered that, and I was like, now there's a gig I would have passed up.
Yeah. Right.
I kind of have, like, I'm thinking about it now, and literally my hands are starting to sweat, because I'm like, how the hell did he climb up that building with no ropes, with no support? That's just insane in my mind.
Right.
Like, how the heck do you do that?
Yeah.
Talk about balls. I mean, geez, balls, confidence.
Mm-hmm. But that's the training too, and that's the thing is, like, we often look at people who do that, and you're like, they're just otherworldly, right?
Yeah.
And so the mind will separate them from us, and kind of bypass the fact that no, he's dedicated his life and his training and his time and focused, and became an expert at this, that, and so I think it's good to point out that greatness does require focus and work, and I almost feel like people forget that because they see all the highlight reels, they see just all the completions and finish lines and so forth on social media, that they don't realize all the things that is required, along the way. And I think it's important to remember that.
And along those lines, another diss word that is distraction.
Yes.
I know I am frequently distracted, like something shiny, a squirrel, like that's constant. And it's, you can even be distracted by like sub goals within your goals.
Yes.
Like the minutia about one thing, like there's one thing I want to do. And a lot of times that, like, I'll say, oh, I want to add this piece of equipment or add this thing, and it's really cool. And I have to sit back and I have to go, how crucial is this to attaining the goal that I have set in my mind? Right. Is it crucial? No. Then leave it. Yeah. Set it aside because it's not important. Yeah. And that's been, actually, I feel better saying that right now because that's been a couple of the things that has been bothering me lately. Is that I get on these this tunnel vision type of thing where I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I really want to do that. Let's do that. And I start focusing all my time on doing that one thing and trying to figure out that one thing or whatever. And meanwhile, the goal that I'm trying to accomplish is fading away because now I'm off track on this other thing that in my mind is related to the goal, right. But it's not crucial to that goal. It's like it's a distraction. Yeah, it's this whole, circuitous route just to get to where I wanted to go. Right. Yeah. Or I end up falling backwards and getting further behind, which is actually what really happens. Yeah. Yep. I start getting further behind because I'm focusing on these things that would be cool, that we could maybe monetize one day. But when it comes down to it, it's like, no, this is not part of your immediate goal that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of discipline to come back to that. And I think what happens is we get that initial desire, right? And that's when you set that initial goal that you're talking about. And desire and goals, they're fun in the beginning, right? They're always fun in the beginning. Yeah. And then they start to get hard. Yeah. And then, so I think a way that we cope with that is instead of moving through that hard spot, a new desire, even if it's related, right, comes up. And then that it almost is like reinvigorating. Like you get that like rush of new desire energy coming in. And so if you keep doing that, like every few days, weeks, or whatever, how long that cycle is, then you just keep getting flooded with the dopamine of the excitement of the new desire. But then after a while, you're like, wait, I had all these plans and I didn't accomplish any of them because I didn't stick out that hard part in the manifestation of the desire process, right? And that those are the things that I tend to refer to as blocks and, and so forth. And it's like removing those mind limitations and blocks then just open us up to keep working with that, desire to move it forward and why we need to believe that it's happening and have faith in it and not go into doubt or, all of those things because that's what's going to help keep that energy open and flowing and moving versus getting all gummed up and then just kind of Band-Aid with more and more distracting desires. And it's so easy to get distracting desires it takes a lot of focus to...
Yeah, another dis word, discipline.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's really a dis word. It's a dis
It's a positive dis word.
A positive dis word. But still, it's one of those things that you have to go back, you have to maintain that discipline to keep focused on what you're trying to accomplish and stop getting distracted from all these little bells and whistles and shiny things that will pop up. That's my constant day-to-day, battle.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I'm like really big on, you'll hear me a lot, and you've heard this a lot. That's why I'm big on, put it in your calendar or something, or get those reminders, or whether it's a Post-it note or something, just like those things to remind you, even if it's the mind's like, oh, it's simple, I don't need to write, I don't need to put this in my calendar. And it's like, well, if you're not following through and doing it, then maybe you do need to put it in your calendar. Right. Maybe you do need to block out a time for, as something as simple as sending that email is.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think it was the Napoleon Hill book, Positive Mental Attitude. I can't remember. It was co-written with someone else who I can't remember his name just yet. But they had this whole chapter about do it now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, which is obviously the opposite of procrastination.
Yes,
Something, do it now. If you have something that you want to get, do it now. Like, don't put it off.
Yeah.
The more often that you do it now, you're going to find in retrospect that was a good choice.
Yes.
And be like, oh, I'm so glad that I did that right away because now this happened and now I won't have time or whatever. I've found that more often than not that if I have some sort of intuition about or an idea about something within reason, obviously, I'll go and I'll do it right away. And it could be as simple as setting that calendar invite or setting a task on something or whatever it is. Do it right now. Mainly because I'll forget. Yeah.
It's so easy to forget. And I think, I know for me, you know, way back when you have less responsibility, I could get away with not forgetting and getting what I needed to done because my mental list wasn't that long. But when you get older, right, and you run a business and you have a family and you own a home and you're taking care of your body and, you know, you're doing all these things.
You're supposed to take care of that?
Yeah.
Always forget.
Right. You know, tending to your relationships, you know, all the things that you just have so much more responsibility that you free up a lot of that mental capacity by just writing it down, or if you are able to actually engage in the action and do it right away. Yeah, but either one is what you're doing is you're freeing up your mental space so that it can be used for your creativity and your joy and to move forward with the desire. And we're just happier when we have more mental space. And I think a lot of the overwhelm that people are talking about is just like a cluttered mental, you know, space inside, and so it's really important to get that out. Write it down, delegate it, do it, right? Like,
and also talking with people, because even this morning I was like, I wonder if I should book some time with my therapist. I haven't seen her in years.
Yeah.
I've always had that, well, I don't need therapy, which is not true. But I get a lot of therapy from you as part of the group and like that, you know. And so even if I'm not, you know, seeking professional help in that way, therapy can be all different kinds of things. It could just be talking with a friend and saying, you know what, I'm feeling really overwhelmed and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Can I have your advice? Yep. Or sometimes you just want to go blah, you know, and spill your beans about just whatever you're feeling. And sometimes that does the trick and you're like, I feel better. I got all that out.
Yep. It's important to acknowledge and be honest about our feelings and let it out versus pretending we don't have them or trying to fix them without actually processing them. And that's why I have that let it go little spot on Telegram, is to, you know, get out and release. And so that we can acknowledge and create space to move forward. Otherwise, it just kind of gets held inside, and then it really blocks. That's another block from moving forward. And we need to get used to just like to feeling and releasing, and to the point where we're not putting a whole lot of mental story on it, and you feel release, move forward.
I need to revisit. I honestly need to revisit my story. My story has gone AWOL. I don't know if it's sprung off into tangents and subplots that don't
it
serve.
It gets very intricate and involved, and I don't. You probably haven't listened to it yet, but I put a voice note up on Monday. I try and do it every Monday. I think I've been doing it every Monday. And what did I think I was going to say? Oh, and it was really about focusing on the solution and not the problem. Like, if you need to name the problem just so that you can get to its opposite, you know, maybe do that. But any other time spent on the problem is not needed, because then you're just in the mindset of the problem.
Like if I named my problem Todd.
Is he watching right now?
I don't know.
If you name the problem Todd.
It's a funny problem.
It is a funny problem. but then you're also you're trying to fix something that you can't control, right? And it's like you're trying to blame and you're trying to focus on it, and instead of the solution. What is the solution? I'm going to actually spend time focusing on that, spending time analyzing the problem and understanding it. Now, it really only goes so far. The amount of time that you really have to spend on a problem is very little, in my opinion, especially the mental, emotional problems. Your time is going to be better used focusing on what the solution is, and the solution is just simply the opposite of the problem, and then creating the solution.
I had a couple of instances where we had a couple of problems that we wanted to solve here, and I kind of meditated on it for a little while, and then just completely got out of, didn't even think about it, went about my day.
Yep.
And a few days later, I think, I woke up in the middle of the night with the answer.
Yep, exactly.
Just boom. I was like, that's it.
Yep.
Eureka.
Yep, and so it's also trusting and knowing that will happen. And you probably got way more other stuff done by not spending days focused on solving the problem, right? Yeah. You just you shifted your energy about it. In the meditation, and then knowing that, okay, it's done. I know this, it's happened. And then it comes and it shows up because of your state of mind that you were in. Yeah.
It's amazing. There's so many of these, things that we can do, these, practices and different things that are very powerful. And what was it? I think it was a post that you
Oh, the one that you just commented on?
Yeah. And it's kind of like remembering how powerful you really are.
Yeah.
And that's easy to forget.
Yes. So easy.
You just get lost in the whole everything and where you are in the world, and not that you're a being of creation, that you are a source of power and energy, and you can, those are pretty lofty things to keep on your mind all the time and to remember all the time. And I think the people who are able to do that, you seem to be a little bit more successful than the rest of us.
I would say I have more practice at it. And I find a lot of the times I'm like, oh, I give my power away, I give my power away. And this is actually a really in-depth topic, because when we talk about power, we're not talking about the ego. You're talking about your identity as a divine being. And that's the power. When I use the word power, that's the power that I'm referring to. And so back to your example with the meditation is when you meditate and you get out of the ego identity self and you merge with your identity as a divine being, then that shifts your state of consciousness, and that's where the miracles happen. But if you see yourself and identify as an ego and separate from divine, separate from others, and so forth, then there's always a constant fight. And that's where the constant, I need to solve this problem is, because you see yourself and the problem as separate, and you're not in a consciousness of oneness, of creation and so forth. So that's why the meditation can be a very powerful tool to support in, creating the solution, because you're changing your state of consciousness, your state of being in your energetic body when you do that.
That's a tough one. It's a really tough one. I struggle with it, but I'm sure other people are the same way. You get lost in your day to day. I got to put the garbage out. I got the and next thing you know, 3 weeks has passed. That's the how occupied your brain becomes with just all of the little things that you have to do, and you start losing sight of that power.
Yeah.
What would you say? What would you say is a good a good way for people to remind themselves of that power?
Well, I think like a meditation practice would be great, or, some sort of silence, allowing yourself to be with yourself without distraction, however you want to look at that. But just like the past few days, I'm like, I'm going to sit here and do nothing. And I've done that a few times. Maybe I'm just like sitting there with tea and my phone's on the charger. I got my books down, my laptop's closed. I got nothing. I'm just sitting. I'm just literally sitting and being, sitting and being, and that's good discipline training around like the mind wanting you to think about things or solve a problem or do this or do that and so forth. So it helps you to be learning how to be.
Now, was that would you consider that meditating?
There's like so many different things that you can do. Specifically, you can, and even like with meditation, there's a lot you can do. You can focus on your breath. You can you can just watch your thoughts. And the idea is I think the main purpose is to recognize that the person that you feel you are in your head, that's doing all the thinking, to become aware of that person and recognize that that's not your true nature. And to step outside of that in awareness, and then just awareness is awareness, and recognizing that all things come through awareness, and that is your natural state of being.
You know what I have to say?
I noticed you have a singing bowl. Yeah.
This is actually the Twin Talks twins.
Yeah.
This is theirs. They left it here. Here, you can make it sing. I can't. I'm not coordinated enough to make that thing sing. There you go.
It's moving.
Ever seen the guy? He's I think he's on TikTok, or he plays all the bowls, the singing bowls.
I'm sure there's a lot of people on TikTok. I back in 2022, I bought all the chakra bowls and had them tuned to, certain notes, and half of them broke because but yeah, that's a whole different topic. Go down a rabbit hole over there.
Destruction of the singing bowls.
But Eckhart Tolle, he always does to like start and end his talks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to end the talk then. Hit the bowl. Hit the bowl. Yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you for that wonderful therapy session. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this, and that's what we want. We want you to get something out of this conversation, even if it's just a reminder to not give away your power, a reminder to meditate, whatever it is, a reminder that you are positively powerful, right? We'll see you next time.
Right now.